we're left in what could best be described as very substandard condition. If something were not done quickly, then the legacy of the people of Bartang Mamigonye would be further risked if the infrastructure of our most, and really our most basic institutions, were not restored. Just like it was during the dark days before Bartang's people stood up and went into battle to fight, the present and future of Bartang's people are in its children. Having an educated populace is the most important need for our people. And in order to achieve this goal, we need to make sure the schools in Armenia are rebuilt. During the Soviet era, many schools were built. The problem with these schools that were built in Armenia, aside from using substandard materials, is that nothing was done to maintain the school after the construction was completed. If there was a leak in a roof, nothing was generally done until the leak began to rot the walls. By the time the schools built by the Soviets were roughly 30 years old, many of the classrooms were unusable, crumbling, and there was no one available to make the needed repairs. The gradual erosion of the infrastructure was really too widespread for a new country, a new independent country, to take on, given all the other priorities a new independent country needed to take on. So we were very fortunate for the World Bank to step in. The reason the World Bank really stepped into a situation like this is to bring the needed investment capital to the country in for the purpose of creating jobs, as well as to bring infrastructure assistance to the country. The World Bank partnered with 5 different Armenian organizations and made those organizations exclusive partners with the World Bank Group. And the Knights of Bartang, fortunately, is one of those 5 partners. The most amazing part of being an exclusive partner with the World Bank is the amount of leverage the World Bank offers. When the program began more than 20 years ago, for every $100 that went to Armenia, the Knights of Bartang needed to only contribute $10. 10. The World Bank contributed 90. As the program continued to roll out, the leverage point increased. For every $100 contributed, the World Bank contributed $95, and we only had to contribute 5. That's all we needed to contribute. From the year 2000 to the year 2018, the Knights and Daughters of Bartang contributed over $2.5 million in support of 251 World Bank projects. This is the most, yes, give yourselves a hand. But here's the most amazing thing. The World Bank took our $2,661,995 and turned it into more than $32 million. That's leverage. Today, we refer to the program as the 97-3 program. And as you could probably guess, that means if we give $3, the World Bank gives 97 for every $100. The question most often asked is, how do I know the money we contribute actually makes it to Armenia and not into the pocket of some corrupt individual? We've all heard the stories, have we not? So what the World Bank does is they have people on the ground. When we give the money, they take their money and give it to their people on the ground, thereby bypassing anyone who could potentially intercept the funds. The laborers who work the jobs are local people who directly benefit through the work performed, thereby stimulating the economy. They get a paycheck, they spend the money, insurance. So let me provide you an example of what that means and the effect upon the children of our homeland. And what I'm going to show you is from the city of Zakashen in the Geharkunik province. Now, this is an area that's just about 40 miles east of Yerevan. Now, for those that have been in Armenia, we're not talking about some outlying village hundreds and hundreds of miles away. This is within shouting distance of Yerevan. Now, in some of these pictures, you can see some of what I'm talking about. You see the erosion of the building. You can imagine children playing in these areas. We see exterior walls crumbling with bricks strewn to the side of the building. Hallways that haven't been cleaned or painted in years. And rooms so rotted out that they're no longer a classroom. So, what did we do? The Knights of Vartan Sevan Lodge gave $7,500, and it was matched with a sister from Detroit, from Brothers Narek Shavarshan Lodge, the Otiak there, a sister there gave it in memory of her husband. And so for $15,000, the World Bank gave $485,000 to repair the school. In the school, this plaque appears, and it recognizes the Knights and Daughters of Vartan for their contribution that made possible the reconstruction of the school building in Zakashen. Now, you saw some of those pictures. That hallway that hadn't been cleaned and painted, that's what the hallway looks like today. That classroom that was rotted out, these are the children in that same classroom with a blackboard and drawing on the wall. The sides of the building with all the brick laying about, in fact, the entire building repaired. But think about who the real beneficiaries are. Here are happy children, the legacy of our people, happy and learning in a clean environment. Now, I have many more pictures. I'm not going to share all of them with you today. If I did, we'd be here till next year. But they're all courtesy of the principal of the school, who is literally so grateful for having a school in what I consider to be a like-new condition. The other thing I should really add is that these pictures were not obtained by me. I have no one in Armenia who I can secure them from. In fact, I contacted our Knights of Vartan liaison, Gohar Palayan. Gohar emailed me several times, I will tell you, in this process. She was emailing me at 10 o'clock in the morning, my time, with the information that I was requesting, whether it was pictures, whether it was information. 10 o'clock in the morning here is 10 o'clock at night there. And she's continuing to work for the Knights of Vartan and for our individual lodges. So where do we go from here and how do we help? The 97-3 program offers us the ability to use the leverage of the World Bank to really help schools in Armenia and transform them from crumbling and cold structures you saw into the buildings that they became. Now, as one person, we can't really do much. But united, just as Vartan and his forces were at Avarat, we can help a great deal more. So a donation of $100 is matched by the World Bank at an amount of $3,333. 250 yields $8,333, and 500 turns into $16,666. I'm going to add a personal note. 2 years ago, for the first time in my life, I went to Armenia with my beautiful wife, Zabel. And by the way, as chairman of Tri-Lodge, I'd like to thank her for putting up with me for these last several months. It's important to understand that for my wife, Zabel, Armenia isn't one of those destination spots. Armenia is a place she used to call home. She was born and raised there and lived there for 15 years. So we, because of her, had the opportunity not to spend time in a hotel, but we actually spent 2 weeks with a family. The wife of the family was a former schoolmate of my wife's. They'd known each other since they were 7, 8 years old. They were showing pictures of me as kids. But more importantly, they had a school child themselves. And they see education as being a way to prosper in Armenia. I witnessed on September the 1st, the traditional first day of the school year, and that's regardless of what day September the 1st happens to be. If it's a Sunday, they go to school. If it's a Saturday, they go to school. The children there put on their uniforms. Actually, their very first day, they put on white dresses. It's a very formal type of occasion. And they start the school year with excitement and anticipation. So the importance of school is paramount to the families that I got to meet. They know all too well that education truly is their future. And this is why we're here today, because we're here to help secure the future of Armenia's children, the present and the future of Vartan Mamikonian. In the center of your table are donation cards. They happen to be canary color. You can't miss them in contrast with the burgundy tablecloths. I'd like for you to take a moment, and if this presentation means something to you, I want to encourage you to complete the donation form. Even if you don't have a check with you tonight, you can make a pledge. And someone will come around and collect the cards from you. So I thank you for your donations. I thank you for supporting the Knights of Vartan, the Tri-Lodge, this Vartanaj banquet. And I want to thank you for investing in the future of the children of Armenia. They are our present and our future in Armenia. Thank you very much. Now, at this time, you'll notice that we've ended fairly early. Yes, this was the end. No more speeches. I know. Applause. No more speeches. No more long-winded people dressed up in funny uniforms. It's time to have some fun. When Vartan went to the field at Avarai, he saved all of us. Christianity, my friends, would not exist without Vartan. So, Khachik is here, the screen will go up, hopefully the music will go on, and I invite you to please have a good time tonight. Thank you. Yes, I am. I got okay, I lied. Yeah, I lied, I'm sorry. I'm going to take 1 or 2 minutes of your time. I know I mentioned Gohar Kalayan, our liaison in Yerevan. She will be making a trip soon to the United States to come visit with the lodges, come and see what it is that we all need from their office. I can tell you from personal experience, they have been, or she has been, an absolute great asset to have. What you saw here today is because of her. I can't go to Armenia and get those pictures, but she could. So what I want to do is speak with your spot beds when they have more detail. I just got the directive a few days ago. And when the opportunity presents itself, come and visit with Gohar when she makes her visitation to your lodge. Thank you. Let's get this.
Su sorriso